getting the live up and running. There we
Hey,
go.
good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Doing
So
well.
I was just looking at Tiffany's email. So the 4th, the 18th.
Guys,
Okay, so
I
every
sent
other
Fred
week.
an email with the rest of his dates for the rest of the year.
Okay, cool. Nothing like having real good direction. And all right, super. Okay. So how is everyone? I don't like that question. That's just a cop out. Okay. All you miserable people speak up first. And then all you happy, wonderful people speak up second. um, yeah, you like that when someone says, "Hey, how you doing?" You hear someone says, "Oh, good." "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, all right." Uh, the worst is, "How you doing?" "All right," for under the circumstances. Well, how the hell did you get under the circumstances in the first place? Don't get under the circumstances. Stay on top of the circumstances. So anyway, um, all right, our normal 26 people. Look at that. The fresh people, all excited. I mean, they're just there. That I love you guys. Thank you so much. That always gets me started off to a good start. So let's just let's talk to Chris Dove. Because Chris Dove, I'll tell you what, folks. How many of you follow Chris Dove on social media? I mean, it is amazing that this young lady and the amount of energy and the amount of focus that she has, both in her physical health and her business. But Chris, you know what? I have the Mind Body Mastermind, right? So I did this 40-day soft challenge, and I had 2 people join me. But I watch you. I think what I want to do the next 40 days is have a Chris Dove challenge. Maybe we could figure out how to get more there. But anyway, Chris, how do you stay consistently? How many days a week do you go to the gym?
As many as I can, unless my body tells me not to.
Okay, so you listen to your body. That's a good point. That's really important because your body, yeah, you got to listen to it. Not well, in that way you have to listen to it, right? There's other times that we listen to our body when we're 20 pounds overweight and we go, no, I shouldn't go ahead and move at this time.
No, I mean, every day that the alarm goes off at 2:30, it's darn, I worked so hard yesterday and I'm just so tired. I bet I'd be a better realtor today if I slept. No, that's an excuse. Get up. But you can tell the difference when your body's like, look, bro, don't walk out that door this morning.
Yeah. Do you argue with yourself when you do that and beat yourself up?
I'm not on my rest days anymore because I truly understand when my body needs a rest.
Yeah.
And I don't really like make excuses for stuff. I just do it. So I don't worry about slacking.
Right. Cool. And then so on average, what do you have? 4 days a week in the gym? 4, 5?
Probably 6.
Whoa. And then how long do you stay there?
I'm there from about 3:15 to 5:15, 5:30. And then if I don't get my cardio in there, I either run on this call and then of course I walk every day 6 miles on this call.
You walk 6 miles every day?
Yes.
Okay. So can
no
you
rest days on walking.
Can you share what drives you? I mean, what not, what in a good way, what drives you, motivates you?
I just feel like I don't have a choice.
Okay.
It's I am very hard on myself, so my propulsion is usually forward. I want to farm. I want to take care of my parents as they age. I want a big truck. I want to buy a boat again. That's about it. I don't really have like monetary goals or anything like that.
Well,
I know nobody on the call wants to hear that, but
no, you just mentioned them. You have vision. That's what you have. Yeah, that's important. You have vision. That's good. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching her and I'm going, oh my gosh, 233, 334. You're talking about a role model.
I was going to join your soft challenge, but you said that not for the people in shape. So I was like, dang it.
Well, no, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. Again, the 7-minute challenge, folks, was just for those people who have not been allowing their mind to rule over their body and if you're not, if you were 10, 15 pounds overweight, how easy it is to control it's easy to, and it's easy not to, right? That's something you always got to remember. It's always easy to or easy not to. It's hard to, and it's hard not to also. So, but the only reason I said that, and I'm glad you brought that up, next time I got to be more clear on that, is because I really was trying to get those people that are, kind of allowing circumstances to rule or their body to rule, not their mind, and that kind of thing. So that's why I did that. But yeah, I mean, I wish I'd known that. I would have had you jump in. Maybe we would have more participants for sure. So anyway, well, thank you so much. Thank you for your dedication and your, just stick to itness and persistence, because it's, I know you're a role model to me. Definitely.
Well, to be fair, I get my 3 a.m.s from you, because when we started working together, you were always up at 2 and 3, and then you might take a nap at 6 a.m. for 20 minutes, and then you get back up. And I'm used to coming from corporate America where it's like 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. So I was like, wait, why am I doing that? Why don't I just make my life how it works for me, how my body runs? And so that is just so easy every day now.
Yeah. And some people, oh, the way mine run, I don't want to get out of bed until 8:30. And some of that's training, right? But yeah, I mean, like last night, I mean, I normally I'm in bed at 8:30, but last night was like at 9:30, almost 10. And I was up at 1 o'clock. I just wanted to be, I had a lot of creative things I wanted to do. I had some writing I wanted to do. Now, you won't catch me in the gym at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock. You won't catch me in the gym. But
I'm not a people person, and there's no people in there that I have to talk to. It's just me.
Yeah,
so I can focus.
Yeah. And I have some very dear friends that are just they just love gyms. And you got to go with what floats your boat. Just some people won't work out if they stay at home. So anyway, thank you so much. And folks, this is Mind Body Mastermind. It's all about, the mindset, the will set that Chris is talking about right now, and then the skill set, because as you build some skills, you just keep them consistently, and then a lot of this thing gets on autopilot. So anyway, anybody else, has anybody else been at least looking at the Mind Body Mastermind? How many of you know, maybe your guest or you don't know what I'm talking about. If Annabelle, if you'll share or here, I have it open here. If you'll share, here, I'll do it. The Mind Body Mastermind, here, I'll put this in the chat in case you haven't been on here. But keep it in mind too. And then the other thing with the Mind Body Mastermind, starting Sunday night, I'm gonna open this up to a where is that, Annabelle? I thought I pinned that post. I didn't. There's a lot of great articles in here. Here's Rick. Rick is just, he really jumped in, and he's been consistent, and he says he's feeling it in a really great way. Oh, here it is, coming this Sunday. And every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. If you could put it on your calendar, if you happen to be just hanging out and you're ready to watch some television, I'd rather have you come in and chat with me and Annabelle and Roland, my two assistants. And I'm just going to be on. It's going to be a Sunday sound off. I'm really looking for questions, deep questions, easy questions, hard questions, whatever it may be. I'm going to call it Sunday sound off. I'm going to try this for 4 or 5 weeks. And so it's Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Sunday sound off. Come in and join us. It'll be a Zoom link. The Zoom link here, matter of fact, I'm going to put that right in here. The Zoom link will be, Annabelle, put it in there right underneath where it says just a post. Just put in there the zoomfd.com. Join us on Zoom, zoomfd.com. Put that in the chat as well as in this post right here. And then if you would pin this post. So every Sunday, if you want, put it in your calendar. I'd love to see you and talk and chat. And the reason I formed this community is try to encourage people and help people and assist people, get those that are doing really well, that want to give, because, a lot of times when you're doing well, your cup is overflowing. You want it to spill out, and you want to sit and encourage people as well. So I'd appreciate you jumping on here, and join us if you can. No obligation. Just, we're just going to do some Sunday sound off. And the other thing I'm going to do is talk about time blocking a lot, because Sundays is a time you should time block, and you should look at the previous week. This is my Twisdom clock, right? The average human being will spend 72 years on the earth. So, if you're old like me and it's 70, you're 70, you're going, it's like 11 o'clock plus. But I'm going to beat this clock by about 30. But anyway, time blocking on Sunday is a perfect time. You should have an appointment with yourself every Sunday, whether you're early bird Sunday, put it early then, where you spend a minimum of 15, 30 minutes. I block 30 minutes. And I look at the previous week. I go over, I take a look at my calendar. I go, I didn't like this. I didn't like that. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done more of this. And, I just, very purposefully look at my previous week. I then look at my upcoming week. And the first thing I do is I make personal plans. I make sure that the plans that I want to block out, first of all, it's definitely personal time. I call it my time. I want to make sure that my time is blocked, and no matter where I go, the first thing is, it's my time, 8 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., right? 8 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., because otherwise this is going to fill up. And before you know it, your life is running you, and you are not running your life. And you don't want that to happen, because and by the way, you can't time manage. It's impossible, right? We've talked about that many times. You can't time manage. You can only manage priorities, and Sunday's a great time to manage your priorities. And so you block things like, how many of you are familiar with iConversations? iConversations. So in iConversations, if every Friday on your calendar, you want to block for iConversation, it's 1 hour. And if you don't have this in your calendar, stop and do this right now. My EXP at 4001. iConversations every Friday. And if you're with EXP, if you're not with EXP, talk to an agent invited you and have them get you access to this for every Friday. It's called iConversations. You have 4 to 5 icons. This needs to be in your calendar every Friday. You just come in here, you look for iConversations. Remember, the training calendar is always in Pacific time, but when you book it, if you're in Eastern time or Central time, or Mountain time, whatever it is, it will put it in your calendar correctly. So you definitely want to come in every week for iConversations at 8:30 specific time. Where is it? 8:30. Where's my Thursday? This light is giving me a fit this morning. Here it is. iConversations, 8:45. I'm sorry, 8:45. And then you just hit add to your calendar. It's always in the main auditorium. Those 4 to 5 icon agents will be pouring out everything they've done to build their business. So you click it, you come in there, because if you're selling and team leading, then you just come in here. It'll say 8:45 up here, but as soon as you add it to your calendar, it'll put it in the proper time. They come in here and they share with you every idea that they've ever had in their business. They'll give you links to copy. Do not miss iConversations. When you put it in your calendar, you just put repeat every Friday. And I don't care what happens that week, folks, you should not miss iConversations. You want to talk about compressing time? You want to talk about multiplication of time? Because the more that you hang out with people, the more that you call on your reserves, right? That you get more out of your time. For, if you remember the chart, I'm going to go back here this morning because I'm not going to be on for a couple of weeks. If you remember the chart, the reason that the ego rules our lives instead of the soul is because we've lost our heart along the way. And I don't care who you are. We lose our heart daily. We lose it hourly. We lose it minute to minute. You could be up 1 minute, next minute down, and somebody says something, whatever, but we lose our heart. So when I bring up the iConversations, it is for you to be able to fulfill the R in heart, how to get your heart back. Honesty. You got to be honest with yourself. If you're not where you are, if you're not doing what you want to do, if you're not happy, if you're not blah, 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 you've got to be honest with yourself. There's only one person. You have one enemy in life. You have one friend in life that will be with you for the rest of your life. Never, ever, ever not be without you. That's yourself. So you got to be honest with that self. Then you got to show yourself some empathy. Like Chris said, she says she gets up some morning, she's not going anywhere. Attitude. The attitude is the altitude. Attitude is the only thing that determines altitude, nothing else. but you got to have this to keep it up. And then the R, reserve. So the reason I bring up I conversations every Friday, if you do that, I promise you, if you do nothing else in the real estate business, if you show up at I conversations every Friday without fail, and you just apply 10%, and I'm not saying this lightly, I mean it. If you apply 10% of what you hear on Fridays in I conversations, in 1 year, you definitely be a 6-digit earner in the income business. You're going to be listening to 6-digit incomes, 7-digit incomes. It is incredible. So learn to call on your reserves. So that's how you get your heart. Is Olivia on? Olivia, are you on today? Bartonelli?
I'm here.
Oh no. There she is. Olivia Bartonelli, folks. You know, one of the things, Olivia came to me not just, I don't know, a few months ago, 3-4 months ago, she was talking about, she was searching. She was being honest with herself. She was saying, hey, I got to do something different. She was being empathetic. She has an attitude like a superstar. And she one day is going to be at the top of the Wall Street Journal in the real estate industry. She has an attitude that won't quit. One of the things that she has as the majority, she's not the exception, she's the rule, is that you don't call on your reserves, right? Little things. Last week, how many were you on last week? How many? I can't see all the screens. Okay. So Olivia brought up, I asked, and I'm going to ask the same thing today, because I'm here to help you and encourage you and to get other people to help you with. Yeah, last week, Krista came up with some stuff and Gina and some other people through, but I came up with who has a problem with the listing selling. And how can I help you? Or how can the crowd help you? How can the mastermind come together and help you? Olivia brought up a listing. How long was it on the market, Olivia?
Over a year.
Yeah, a year. Okay. And how much is it? 1 million. It was listed for last.
Well, now it's 1.199, but it was originally 1.35.
Right. So anyway, she never purposefully went out and said, hey, maybe she did. She went to some places and all, but she didn't bring it into a mastermind. And these masterminds going forward, I'm only going to be on every other week now. I think they got a lot of complaints and they took me off halftime. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, Olivia finally, during the week, she said, hey, I'm going to take my opportunity and call on my reserves. He said, who has a listing that's not selling? Well, and I'm going to be very vulnerable here now because, she gets on the phone and here comes big shot Fred. I'll show her 40 years. Watch, I'm going to show her what to do here. You watch, folks. So anyway, she gets on the phone. She then sends me the stuff I told her to send it, put the documents in a Google Drive. Let me review them. We get on. Okay. We get on the call. I'm looking at it. The listing's a day away from expiring, right? Was it a day away?
Right.
So I'm in more fear than she is. Honest to God. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm calling it what it was. I'm going, oh my gosh, this poor thing, she's going to lose this listing and dead. And so I'm going, do this, do that. What are you doing? And then I saw one thing, by the way, I'm going to bring it up, Olivia, because others don't know, like you said, hey, bring this stuff up on the call. She didn't have okay to advertise on her listing. And if you're in a marketplace that allows okay to advertise, you always want that check because that's a kiss of death, especially in a market that's on the way down. You want everybody in their feed and you want them advertising market. So she didn't have that check. And there's a couple little things. And then I brought up a few things that was some good advice, I think, with, putting some future looking things together for the property because it has a, older house and stuff on it. But anyway, here's where again, we are students and teachers of one another. And we're always here to learn, none of us know anything. We just have experience, right? So I helped her with some of my experience. So look, Olivia, let me tell you what you got to do. Here's what you're going to do. You got to buy me some time, right? Get the big shot his time, because he's going to have to really. And so I say, at least get a 30-day extension if you can. I think I started with 10-day, didn't I?
I think you said 30, and then you're like, if he could give you 6 months, try 6 months or like 45 days, that'd be even better than 30.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the main thing I'm thinking, man, if she's lucky to get 10 days, blah, blah, blah. Well, so she calls me up or I call her back. I forget. I follow up. I say, Olivia, what happened? I almost fell out of my chair. And very calmly, very confidently, she says, what? What'd you tell me?
I got a year extension.
Alyssa has been selling a year. Now, Here she was sitting with this thing, worried about it expiring. Is that because I had brought any magic? No. It's because of the mastermind, her mind coming together with mine, her mind coming together with the collective crowd. See, folks, that's a true mastermind. None of us, there's some of us on this call. Is Liz on? Is Liz on? Is Krista on? There's a lot of people on this call that are so much more effective than me in actual sales, because I'm not actively selling, right? Some of us are more effective than others of us, but none of us are more effective than all of us put together. And a true mastermind helps you to come in and find your heart back. It helps you to get honest with yourself. You're going to be open and honest. You're going to have empathy. The main thing is calling on these reserves, and you got to go out and be tough on yourself. So how did you get the year?
He actually said it. So I scheduled to meet with him. He was a little bit like, he wasn't at the property when I stopped by during the day. I told him in the morning, I'm going to come by later, check in, just have a meeting with you. And then he wasn't there. So I was like, oh no, maybe he's like, he wasn't home. Maybe he likes to fish. So, but anyways, he called me back later and he said, come by anytime, we can meet together. And so it was like around 8 o'clock at night. We have a great relationship. He really trusts me to sell it. So he's like, I was gonna take you for a coffee this afternoon. We could sit down and talk about it. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, we could still do that at 8. And so we met up and we discussed it. And he's like, at the end of our meeting, I pull out the extension and I'm like, so I feel very confident that we're going to sell it, and especially with this new plan we have in place. And he's like, yeah, let's do another year. I'm like, okay, all right, let's just add some days on here.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. That's great. I'm so glad you brought it into the mastermind. And that's what it's all about. I mean, speaking up like this and being a part, and when you reach out like that, it really changes you, doesn't it? It makes you feel like, it's okay to speak up. It's okay to come forward. It's okay to ask for help, right?
Right. Yeah. And I thought you had some really great advice on the whole plan, because I wouldn't have thought about those things. You have the experience. So just having like the renderings of what is possible on the property, that's I don't have experience with that. So that was helpful.
Yeah. One of the things we're talking about is just, even there's a lot of services. Did you find a service, or did you going to get an architect to do it? Or there's some architects that'll scrape it out for you in a larger area like this. Chris Dove and I had a problem with an architect in a smaller town. But, if you call an architect saying, hey, I'd like to put your name on a rendering, not an official rendering, they just quickly have one of their people in their office sketch something out and show a house that could go on there. But then because you went and dug, you found out you could have 2 properties on there, right?
It could be 3 or 4, they said, with the city.
3 or 4, you say? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. See, before you didn't have that, right?
Right. And they also told me how long it takes to replat. It's only like a little over a month.
Yeah. That's important, folks. When you have something that's out of the ordinary, one of the things, because I used to do this all the time in my auction business, because I'm an auctioneer, and you would really have to, in a 30-day period, know everything you can in the world about the possibility and the probability and all that stuff. So I would go to every municipality and I would ask a million questions till they almost threw me out of the office. You interview them, you take a note this date. Hey, I talked to Bob Jones this date. He said that, she said, we said, and you find these things out and you dig this up, because now that she has that, she can change her sign saying 3 properties possible, or whatever. And in her language on her listing and stuff. So think outside the box with those things. Okay. Anything else, Olivia, on that?
No, thank you so much.
Yeah. Great job. All right. Anybody else, with listings and maybe they're not selling, a challenge deal, that we can help you with collectively? Anybody? While we're on that subject, on talking about deals. Hey, Jeffrey Thomas, thank you for that. I as I was doing my password, I have a habit of speaking out. I didn't say it all, so I'm good. Thank you, Jeffrey. As I was typing my password. Anybody else on a deal or anything we can help you with? 35 agents and there's nobody that hasn't good. Wow, I'm impressed. Anything else? How about people that are just coming in and they need some direction? that the mastermind can help you, the more seasoned people can help you?
I have a question
Oh.
there. Rick.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ted.
Okay. Yeah, the millionaire, that advertising for the millionaire, I need some kind of tutorial or how to go through it or how to put it together. I do have for sale by owner who has a millionaire. They have their $1 million listing.
Oh, you're talking about the luxury program,
Right.
because you took the master class, right?
Correct.
Yeah, didn't we send you the information?
Yes, you did. But I need some type of tutorial on how to put it together, or what is, I'm kind of mixed up. That's what I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, Janelle, I gave you Janelle's name and number, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
her calendar link is right there. If you schedule a quick 15 or 30-minute call with her, and Ted, don't overcomplicate that. You go to that link I sent you. First, you put in your name, your email, your phone number, your photograph, your this, your that. And then you don't hit submit a listing, you hit do a proposal. All you need is a photograph of the property and the address, and it'll spit out that 27-page proposal for you. Okay. But just go to that portal first, because she's going to have to get you to show you, upload your photo, upload whatever logo you're going to use, upload, you're going to put your information in there, and it's not very complicated at all. So get that basic done. When you open it up, after you sign up, it says create a proposal up at the top. If you click that, it'll just say, what's the address? All it's just looking for is a title. It's called title. You will put I put the Smith property, and I put the address and what city, and then you upload a photo. You only need one. Boom, you hit that, man. You got a 27-page report. So if you get stuck with that, get on, tell her you're part of Fred DeFalco's luxury group, and that you're you just need a little walkthrough through the portal. She'll help you.
Okay.
Okay. Good luck.
Hi,
with
I
that
have a
portal.
question.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in. I'm super new. I'm Veronica. Jessica Baskis is my sponsor. And we are like diving into lead generation this week. So I'm, very new. I don't know exactly like how to get my first listing. So while I'm here and the floor is open.
Okay, good.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to mute myself. I definitely want to get like anybody's tips or tricks on like, how do you get your first listing? Like I feel like I'm a people person, but like having that conversation just seems so like awkward and new and weird, so how do you, I'll figure it out, but if anybody has any tips, I would love to hear it.
Yeah, that's a great question, Veronica. And what marketplace are you in?
I'm in Boca
Okay.
Raton.
You're with who sponsored you?
Jessica.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, you need to
Yeah,
get on
I talked to you.
the way you do it, because you don't have your stuff set up with me. That's how you do it. You
I don't.
get on my calendar.
Okay, I'll get it on your calendar.
I'm saying, wait, I know that voice. I know that person, because you're walking in the door, guns in my eyes. Yeah,
I
no,
know it's really hot.
that's okay. Yeah, no, that's part of my onboarding with you. But first of all, to answer that question simply, number one is that you've got to make sure you're ready to get it right. You got to have a listing kit put together. So what are you going to show them and sell? Because once you have that, you're going to be okay. Number two is that you want to go get a listing right now today. You can go get a listing today. I guarantee you. Matter of fact, I guarantee you 2 of them. Okay. All right. You believe me? Here, because why? Do you have a relative that lives in town?
Yeah, one, but they just bought a house.
They did. Well, that's even better. They just bought a house. So
Yeah.
you're going to call them up and you're going to say, hey, Bob, listen, I'm coming over to list your house tonight. And I mean it. I'm going to come over and list your house. I'm going to bring the listing agreement, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do for you. Cause you're going to do that.
Well, they already sold their house. So they don't have anything to sell.
Well, they own one now, right?
Yeah, but I think it's like he's like 80. I think it's like his last home.
Well, I'm saying, but it's a practice. I'm not telling you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to go practice, because once you do that, you're going to go, oh my gosh, that's more simple thing. Because what blocks people from going to knocking on the door and taking a listing? Because they've never taken one before. So you got to take your first, get that out of the way.
Okay.
Right? So go practice on one. That's the key.
Okay.
Have a little listing kit And that's all
Okay.
over that's all over GPS
Yeah.
website and then in
Okay.
the workplace. And then the
Okay.
second thing is go take one quickly just to practice. Fill out the form, the listing
Sure.
agreement, and then fill out what you're going to do for them. But get back on my calendar. We got to get your stuff set up for you.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
And-
Sure.
and then-
Thank you.
And then the other thing, in this day and age, I have a new agent. I won't take the time to show you the AI. I had an agent that just joined and she was new as well. And she said, hey, I got a first buyer. What do I say? I said, let's go ask AI, see what they say. Oh my gosh. They gave her a complete checklist. I had them. She said, you have a checklist. I said, let's see what the AI will come up. AI was a lot better than mine.
I know I've heard about this AI. I haven't even used it. And I'm so surprised every time
That's part of
somebody
my
shows
very
an
first-
example.
That's a part of my first thing I'm doing with all my agents now. So please get on my calendar, please.
Sure. Sure. Of course. Thank you.
Is it Lumi or Lummy? Lumi.
It's Lumi. Hi.
Hey.
So I'm brand new agent as well. And I guess I'm having trouble with a few things, but the main thing is like she was saying, just not knowing what to say, not knowing how to start. So for instance, if I go door knocking and then they have questions about real estate, I don't know, how's the market? How's this? Okay. But I don't think I can keep up that conversation because I don't know. So I think that is what's holding me back.
Yeah.
That fear of not knowing how to reply. And then I'm going to look like an idiot because they're like, okay, then what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you hit the nail on the head. And, it's the fear. It's false evidence appearing real. Because you can speak to the real estate market better than most people because you just get, but here's the thing though. If you go out thinking that you've got to know something other than you're now in the business and everyone quits saying, hey, I'm a brand new agent. Always say, hey, I have a new startup business because that's a big difference. You have a new startup business. Hi, I'm Lumi. I have a real estate business here locally it's a new startup real estate business. I was just coming out and meeting people and asking about this neighborhood and all, because I'm going to start working this neighborhood and bringing new people into it. You always take something with you, be armed with something, and you can always be armed with an MLS sheet of a property that's on the market, right? Find one that you really like, maybe one that's on a lockbox, one that you've gone in and previewed. Now you're armed when you go out there. That takes away that fear, right? And just say, because now you got a reason to knock on the door. Hey, I'm Lumi. I have a new startup real estate business that I'm in the area. We, MLS is we, not anybody else. We just brought this property on the market I'm so excited about, and I'm out introducing it today in case you would know someone that you'd like to have as your neighbor. So you could start that way, right? Have something that relieves the fear.
Right.
The MLS is your greatest friend. As a lot of agents come in, they say, I'm brand new to the business, and they take 10 weeks to learn the MLS. That's the very first thing you ought to learn. That's your gold mine. There's gold nuggets in there. Take them around and start giving them away, right? You could go to Publix, Lumi, seriously. You could go to MLS, go pick a listing that you really like, because maybe it's on lockbox, print out some really nice brochure, go to Publix for 4 hours a day. And you say, hey, I'm Lumi. I have a real estate business local in the area. I'm so excited about this property. I just want to, bring it out here and introduce it to the public in case and you do that 4 hours a day. I guarantee at the end of the first month, you will have business. You will have a buyer wanting to buy something. You're going to have a seller that's going to call you, maybe not the exact month, but a month or two later, going to say, well, this gal's sharp, right? So just be out there. Don't hide at home. Don't be reading just the books. Listen to the YouTubes, how to succeed your very first 2 months in real estate. Watch YouTube, how to have a successful business your first year, how to make 6 digits in real estate in the first year. Just fill up with what I'm giving you right now. Attend the conversations, because a lot of times they'll bring up when I was new. That's important. So just don't give up. The other thing is your manual needs to be The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, right? And then I have a couple products. I'm starting a group that is, there you go. Fantastic. And again, you don't sit there and read it and get 18 pages read and then you don't read it again for 2 months, right? You only read 2 a day. To eat life by the inch is a cinch. Your career by the inch is a cinch, right? Everyone tries to take this thing by the yard. Master the MLS, master that book of 2 or 3 pages a day, watch a couple videos a day, and then just get out there and see people. Take the MLS. That's your greatest friend, your greatest friend. Okay.
Thank you.
Hope that helps. Okay. And if anybody else has anything, Joe's ready to speak. Joe's how many months, your new startup business, Joe?
Yeah, well, almost 5 months full time.
Yeah.
But I was gonna also add to that. I think what's helped me, even though I didn't know something, I just try to speak with confidence. Like if I could just sound confident, then it doesn't matter what I say.
Mhm.
It should be somewhat true, but you know, it all that matters is how it comes out and how confident you are, and
Yeah.
you won't sound bad.
But that's a
So,
good point too, because
yeah.
people are asking sometimes just to have conversation, and now they're enjoying your conversation because they're talking to a confident person. You know,
Yeah.
If someone asks you a question, you go, right away they're uncomfortable. That's a good point, Joe. I'm glad you brought that up. The other thing too, Lumi, I tell you this: if Chris Dove is still on, I don't know if she's still on or not, but when I first met Chris
I'm
Dove,
here.
when I was on board her, we were talking about branding and having your antennas up, right? You're a real estate professional, not a realtor or house specialist, and it's something clicked, right? And I say, if anyone ever asks you a question, your answer is what? And you're not sure and you don't know, what's the answer? If they say, hey, do you do triple net leases? What's your answer?
Of course I do. What are you looking for?
Absolutely. The word is always absolutely, right? Or of course I do, because so from that call, Chris remembers someone had asked her like a year before about if she does commercial. That ended up into $1,750,000 general store, and then it ended up in $1,850,000 general store. So is this a tough business? No, we only if we keep our mind closed and we're not trying new things and exposing ourselves on masterminds like this. So keep it up, Lumi. Don't. And again, you're not a new agent, okay? You have a new real estate startup business, right? The big difference.
Yep. Thank you.
And the word is always absolutely, or the other word that's always saved me, unbelievable. How's the market? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That covers it both ways, right? Is it a buyer's market or seller market, Lumi? Is it a buyer's market or seller's market?
Right now,
What is a buyer's market?
when there's many homes.
Okay, when there's a buy. No, when is it a buyer's market?
A buyer's market?
Yeah, when's it a buyer's market?
Well, when there's a lot of houses to buy.
You sure? No, I just did what Joe said. I wanted you to be confident. See, right? So see, again, we only have one enemy and one friend, right? We're our own worst enemy. So you doubted yourself. You allowed me to do that. Don't, just, you knew the answer, right? But you didn't know that and just so stay confident. I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, man. Thanks. Anything else, Joe? You had your hand up.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I just wanted to speak on something. So I'm having trouble lately. The good news is, I'm getting leads and I'm having conversations with clients. But I'm having trouble with kind of like I'm getting too excited, and I may be taking on a client that may not be qualified. Like I'm not qualifying them properly, right? Like I'll give you an example. I've had a rental listing. I've had a lot of business come through that. And a lot of these clients aren't qualified. They don't have the best credit scores, right? And I'm having trouble kind of making them do the first step, which might be the rental application, right? Like I'm getting too excited and just saying, let's go see the property, let's go see the showings, and I need to kind of not do that. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else want to speak to that? That's actively qualifying people and having that situation?
And it might not even be just that, but it's like Fred, I called you yesterday about that off market thing, right? Like I'm not doing like getting a simple commission agreement signed first prior. Like I need to be a little smarter to kind of protect myself, protect my time. And I'm getting into just getting so excited. Like I have a client, and I mean, for me, like, to feed my family, I kind of need this. So I'm kind of jumping onto it really, really quick and not really, taking that time to really, okay, let's make sure all the steps are done. And
You're bringing up a really great conversation, and it's very typical in this business. We all have done it. We all still do it. I've done it. Chris Dove and I, as experienced as I am, and I feel a little bit bad because I feel like I dragged her in there a little bit. She had a really great property. It was perfect for the public pricing system. It was perfect. These people needed us. I jumped in immediately because of saying, oh, wow, okay, I really wanted to help Chris out. Number one, that was partly, I had a little bit too much focus on that and on the fact, oh, wow, this is really nice. Listen, I want to see this happen. It was perfect for public pricing, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't stay true to my business model where I make them invest some money into the marketing stuff. So it happens, Joe. It will always happen, right?
Can I jump in too, Fred?
Sure. Yeah.
Something that I had to deal with when I started, Joe, was I had to convince myself that even though I was broke and sleeping on a couch, which is probably not your situation, but I told myself, you got 100 grand in your bank account, make every single decision, you can play around. You need to stop being so trying to get everything and actually take the time to go through things as if you had the time and you had the money. I'm leasing a bunch of properties here in Tallahassee. I have a multifamily. And in my experience, and obviously I'm pretty sure your price point's wicked far past mine, but in my experience, if they're not willing to pay for the application, they don't really need a place to live and they don't really want into the property.
Yeah.
They should be desperate. When I was renting, I was desperate. So that's just, my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Ask something as well.
Go ahead. Sure. Yeah.
When I got started, I didn't do buyer consultations too. And I had one yesterday with a first time home buyer, and he was like, wow, that's so much information. It's really helpful, just going through the steps. And so making sure you have that connection with the lender and making sure they schedule to do the application, because I noticed lenders will feed that out and they'll be like, don't put them in your car yet, they're not ready. Or they'll kind of give you a heads up where they're at. So I always, you don't even know their price point until they speak to a lender.
Yeah. I don't know, is Rahib on, my mortgage partner? One of the things is you want to have a good mortgage partner that helps you do that. That's number one. But the other thing too, almost like you said, Joe, saying confident, is that with a buyer to take control up front, like when the guy's talking about an off-market deal. Remember, emails are powerful, right? Form of communication. Hey, this will just confirm, hey, we spoke about the off-market deal. Here's the way it works. Just, you want to make sure you always think of a roadmap for them, because in their head, they think one thing, you're thinking another. So just paint a roadmap. That's number one. Number two, you always want to make sure you have an agreement for anything and everything, and a good agreement. Like the property I was talking about with Chris Dove and I, man, wrote a good, did an awful lot of work for him and blah, blah, blah. And we finally got them to agree. But the problem is that I didn't stick to the agreement that they needed to have some skin in the game. So you're going to always learn these things, So yeah, but that's the main thing. Yes. And the other thing is, Joe, too, I like Chris' thing about seeing that you have $100,000 in the bank, but you having self-confidence, right? Is that you're worth it. Right? You're thinking I'm just giving them information. Am I really worth? Well, you are, because you're in the information business. Information is valuable, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, what I find is I spent a lot of time. I spent from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock yesterday driving around. I even had a FISBO appointment. I show up to the appointment and I get a tour from their 15-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. And the owner was nowhere to be seen. So I was like, okay, maybe in the future when I make these appointments, I need to be a little more
yeah.
Are you going to be there?
I've been there.
Oh my God.
If you were getting paid $1,500 an hour, what task would you choose? Because you wouldn't be doing piddly tasks. You wouldn't be taking time away from that $1,500 an hour to be driving around or doing whatever. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Every hour, even though we're not 9 to 5, we're still, that energy alone is our payment, is our currency. My business completely shifted when I started thinking about my time as money.
Currency.
Yeah.
I like the word currency, Chris. A great, that is currency for sure. And the other thing, Joe, too, is that whenever that happens, you want to make it to your advantage, right? I have one of the great historical listings I took, and the guy was a car dealer and, a used car dealer, and he stood me up 3 times. But in my 3rd time, I wouldn't give up. And the 4th time I went back, I said, Joe, I'm going to make sure you're there right now. He said, well, yeah, I'm here. I said, I'm coming now because you're there. Stay right there. I want to show you what I'm doing now. You're trying to sell these towns. And he just threw the keys at me when I got there. He said, come in. He says, I've never seen anybody like you. Buy here, take these listings. And he had 2 townhouses. So take advantage when they let you down, because they do have a little bit of obligation. Okay. So yeah, this whole game is all about us managing ourselves more than anything else. That's why I love this business, is it changes you. It's really important. Lumi, go ahead. Hey, by the way, Annabelle, are you there? I need the event. Oh, good. Thank you. You saw my note. This event, by the way, if you're anywhere near the South Florida market on Thursday night, free drinks, free food, take a look at that. It is really a great event. Ken Monroe, one of ours, is putting it on. Pretty interesting stuff that he's doing, called the New World Realtor. So take a look at that event. And then also, if you're in the South Florida market, I've started and converted one of my Facebook groups to eXp Realty South Florida Success, because I'm really trying to pull all the agents, anybody in South Florida that's an agent at eXp, I'm trying to pull that together. And then also, Annabelle, if you could put a link to the events. If you have 6 transactions or more, I'd like to have you be a part of a focus group that I'm starting to talk to more and more people about products that will work for agents. But this focus group, you have to have 6 closed transactions or more in the previous, no matter where you are, and mainly in the state of Florida for that focus group. So if you're interested in that, click one of those dates if you have 6 closed transactions or more. Go ahead, Lumi. Did you still have your hand up? Oh no, okay, okay. All right, perfect. All right. Let's see. Anybody else on the transaction? Joe, that was really good. Lumi, that was great. Chris, thank you for pitching in, and Olivia. Anybody else with transactions, transactional? Hey, we got Rick on. Hey, Rick. My one of 2 participants in Mind Body Mastermind. Hey, Rick, tell how's it feel? How's it, have you had times you wanted to skip it? Speak up to that little challenge and how it's affected you a little bit.
Well, I mean, it definitely got me out of being lazy. So definitely doing those little warm-ups. I started with that, and then I started working out again, doing my exercise in the morning. Then just using those exercises to cool down after a workout.
Yeah.
So it's definitely changing, helping my my mindset, my body, and everything. So it's been a good thing. It's definitely been a good thing.
Yeah, it's kind of even myself. I mean, I'm fairly can keep myself going most of the time, but the one thing when I have projects like that, it's just a reminder again. And then like yesterday, after you do 7 minutes, I mean, 7 minutes, if you do 7 minutes consistently 7 days a week, especially the nitric oxide dump, they call it the nitric oxide release, the 4 minute by Dr. Zach Bush. That alone, even if you're a weight builder, that nitric oxide builds up, right? That really affects your body. So little things like that go a long way. That's why I kicked that off. So, Rick, thank you for participating in that. So, little things go a long way once they're done consistently, right? So thanks for participating in that. Anybody else? Transaction wise, we got if anyone's interested, Italy, we got, we're going to end of the month of September. We'd love to have you on the tour. Annabelle put the link into the Luxury and Wealth group. Study the.
Hey, Fred, I've got one.
Go ahead. Hey,
it's Alice.
Wait a minute. Hold 1 second, folks. We haven't seen Alice. Alice has 6 children, and she is a super mom, and she is super involved. And so she's been away between camps and soccer mom and this, that. Good to see you, Alice. Go ahead.
Thank you. So it's just a real basic residential listing. If anybody wants to give me some feedback, I put in the chat. It's at 5051 Strathaven Drive in Dayton. It was under contract through the prime selling season, and the buyer just sort of moseyed away a couple days before closing. So it's back on the market. Now it looks like a blighted property, but it's not. It's really beautifully renovated, actually. It's priced a little high for the neighborhood, but we were under contract at full price once, and then above asking a second time, and it appraised at that above asking price. So if anybody wants to look at the listing and give me some feedback. I did an open house on Saturday and I got like two people.
How many signs did you have out?
I had like 6 or 7 signs out.
You need
I didn't have
30.
20. I had 6 or 7. Yeah. But
Yeah, put a lot of signs out for the open house, number one. Number two, does your MLS have that box that you check off okay to advertise?
no, but I did circulate around to other EXP agents in the Ohio market. You can only advertise other EXP agent listings. You can't boost anybody, but you can
Well,
do
what
EXP
you can do though, hey folks, by the way, and Alice, listen to this. One of the things you want to do with the listings not selling, you want to go ahead in either your Canva or however you want to do it, and you want to give it out to every broker in town saying, hey, this is a package that's unbranded. Please feel free to brand this with your own branding. I give you permission. And if you have to get the seller's permission, because I don't care what the real estate commission says, if the seller says, yeah, I want everybody advertising for me, they can do it. The seller is the boss, not anybody else. So, do an unbranded flyer for them, do an unbranded social media post for them, and send it to them. Say, hey, put this out as your own, put this out as your own. That'll help. The MLS, that if you're in it, make sure it's marked properly, that okay to advertise. And the other thing, change up the remarks. A lot of times little things like that, or add in some value added, that the seller's going to pay the taxes for the first year. You just throw some incentives in this kind of market. Just say tax-free home. You come up with, like, you think outside the box, right? Tax-free home.
right.
And then you just put in there, the seller's billing the tax for the first year upon closing, but little things like that. So always keep stirring it up with your open houses. It's been proven over and over again. The more signs, the more traffic. Of course, the GPS Mastermind, which came from Brent Cove, by the way, it's 50 signs. And also, how long was your open house?
It was 2 hours.
Yeah, Brent Cove says 6 hours. That you go there, you take your laptop, you go to work there, you hang out there, and you put it out, and then make sure all the neighbors know, because that's a future listing. Every listing should turn into 2 other listings.
Right.
So, yeah, ABM, always be marketing.
Another thing, if I can hop in, Fred, one thing that's been working for me on a listing not a listing, but an open house that I've been running on a listing that I can't push traffic to, is partnering with other vendors. So one week I partnered with like local boutiques in Tallahassee. This week I'm partnering with local boutiques in Thomasville, Georgia, which is just like 20 minutes over the border. It's the equal distance to Tallahassee as it is to Thomasville. And they, collaborating with them, we post on social together. It pushes their 6,000 people in audience now see that we're hosting an open house, and they're displaying their clothes in my closets at my open houses. So those kinds of things, like any local businesses that can provide snacks or that you can get your, lender to buy food from, that's a good idea too.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen people put, events, ice cream trucks and all the other kind of stuff. But yeah, I just looked at it on Zillow. It looks like a nice, nice property. Okay, cool, folks. Hey, thank you all. Anybody else? Hey, Felipe, speak up to us, man. He's one week, his new business startup.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going good. I did want to ask, for the MLS, what things should we focus on learning or getting started with first, so we can familiarize ourselves with that system?
Great question. You'll get the orientation done, right? Because that's required in the MLS that you joined. The main thing is learn how to use the hot sheets. There's videos up there in the upper right-hand corner in the help thing. Look up hot sheets. You're in an MLS. I'm familiar with the MLS you're in, of course. The one great thing about that MLS is they are so user-friendly. You call the number, they answer any question you want, but go through the complete library of your MLS, because the more you master MLS, the more money you're going to make.
Okay.
A lot of people that are in the business for an awful long time think they know the MLS. They don't know the MLS. There's so many features, so many ways to present things, because remember, we're in the information business. The better you master your information, the more money you're going to make. So yeah, hot sheets are very important, folks. Every morning, you should not start your day without knowing what's new in your market within about a mile, 2 mile square of where you market. what's new come on the market, brand new listings, price reductions, because now you're in the information business. Now you know all that. What's expired, because it might motivate you to stop by and knock on their door. And the more expensive the expired, the more you should go out and try to knock on their door. I'm available for a phone call. I got somebody I just sent out the other day. They said, what do? I say, tell them you got the national, you got the National Commercial Division to take a look at this, and they're interested, or whatever it was. I think it was you, Olivia, but so just always be marketing. So you're daily.
I have one suggestion for your new
Yeah.
agents.
Yeah.
Do the contract classes, whatever contract classes you can get in for your MLS, because what I found is I became a lot more confident when I knew the contract inside and out. So then you can address like, well, what happens if the appraisal is shorter? What happens if the inspections don't work out? If the better you know the contract, the more confident you'll be as a new agent, because that's your whole deal is in that contract. So any contract classes you can take them 3-4 times, because the better you know your contract, the more confident you'll be talking with people.
And that's coming from someone that knows what they're talking about. Because folks, let me tell you, that's why I tell agents, your first job is to go out, like I told Lumi, go out and list 2 houses today, right? Your friend's house, your mother's house, your brother's house, doesn't matter. You're going to take the form, act as if you got a call and you're going out on a listing, and you're going to actually present to them and say, hey, here's what I'm going to do for you. And then they're going to go, wow, she's really serious. Now you've got a great advocate telling people, hey, my sister's really serious, or whoever, whatever the relationship is, to going out and listing 2 houses. Even if you are in a slump, go call, just say, hey, I need practice. I'm out of practice. But if you're brand new, you go out and list 2 houses, then you turn around and sell those 2 houses back to those same people and fill out the contract of sale there, because that's great advice, Alice. I mean, the more you know that contract, the more confident you're going to be. And you wonder why you're not going out and getting listings, because you're not confident you even know how to fill out the form. And that's so basic. That's so basic. Can you imagine a surgeon going through medical school, but never skipped all the surgery classes, and then he's going to go and do surgery? That's what it is like, not knowing these contracts. Great advice. Great advice. But the daily hot sheets, folks, if you are in the real estate business and you didn't study the MLS this morning, that's not good habit. You want to be in the habit of just quickly. It's only a 5-minute scan. It's only then when you print out the expireds, maybe a little bit longer to go knock on one of the doors or something. But mainly it's just, and I'll tell you, in 3 months, you're going to be shocked at yourself how well you know your market intuitively. And when someone asks you, how's the market? Well, I am seeing an increase by about, 15% of expired. And so it's adjusted some, and then oh, really? What's that mean? Expired, blah, blah, blah. So that's the main thing, Felipe, is hot sheets every morning and study the MLS every morning, not hours, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. Good stuff. Good stuff, Alice. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, cool. I think we're going to turn it over to the after party. I'll see you, I guess, a week after next. And thank you all. Please come back, invite your friends. We're here to help one another. Hopefully it's been helpful this morning. We've got those events in there that we talked about. I don't think we missed anything. Did we, Annabelle? No, I don't think so. Good. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
All right. Thank you.